Today, here's Primetime. Good evening once again, everybody. I'm Chris Berman. Welcome to ESPN's debut of NFL Primetime. Can you believe it's been 15 years? And what a ride it's been. Beep, 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 beep. I said a Todd Light, not a Bud Light. Stop at the touchdown! The greatest comeback in the history of the National Football League. This is James Littleman Stewart. Curtis, my favorite Martin. John Pythagoras Theory. Eric sleeping with the enemy. Chris Calloway. Time. Chris Carter, all he does?
Catch touchdown.
What? And he could go all the way from
Louisville.
rumbling, bubbling, stumbling. Tick, 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 tick. No one circles the wagons. Look at that. Like the Buffalo Bills. John Connie, Sheila McCray. Good night, everybody.
I'm just like Costello. I'm following your lead.
Well then, follow my lead into the next 15 years. The quest for Super Bowl 36 starts on Primetime. Elvis gets raving reviews from Ray in his Baltimore debut. Will Rice reign in his with rookie Minnis snooping around?
Mouse and Carter, what else is new?
What else is new? Winky dinky doo. The Marshall Plan is in full effect at the bench, while Flutie and the Bolts send a surge past the Skids. The Colts have the edge with Peyton manning the helm. Will Favre and the Pack give Amon the green light? Anything can happen. It's week 1 on NFL Primetime.
NFL Primetime is presented by Miller Lite. Primetime is Miller time. And now here's your host, Chris Berman.
Was that really us? I'm not buying it.
I look at the teams. You look so,
Oh, stop it.
young, and I look so thin. And
No, I look so thin. We were so much older then. We're younger than that now. Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, 15 years with you on this show.
Good to be here.
Amazing, Tom.
Good to be here, Bo.
And you know what? Opening day, didn't it get you excited?
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Getting to the regular season is what we all look forward to, and I think the morning we wake up, we feel like players this morning.
We do, and Prime, we have plenty to show you. You've been with me now longer than you were.
I know, well aware.
That starts to get shaky. You know what? We'll get to the champs and everybody else playing some great games, especially some later games. But you know what? When you think football, Tom, when you think NFL football, you think the Green Bay Packers. I mean, how can you not have football on opening day on the soon-to-be frozen tundra of Lambeau Field with one of the most exciting players, one of the most exciting places? We just felt like starting Lions, Packers with Bart Starr, Lambeau Field, and Ray Nitschke, and Willie Davis, and Vince Lombard. And soon we'll speaking like this, Brett Favre.
That's correct.
First quarter of the 142nd renewal of the Packers and the Lions, and Amon Green, 7-0, the Pack, and he already in his second year has that Lambeau lead. Later in the first, boy, Favre and the Packers came out firing. Billy Schrader, this 23-yard rainbow. You think Brett Favre is ready to open up the season, Tom? Looks like it, because Schrader is hit, and yes, I'll have another one. Packers aren't done, still first quarter. Own territory, they fake the reverse. Green bounces out, gets a block right there from Antonio Freeman. And he could go all the way. 83 yards, 21-0 Pack on a rainy day to the chagrin of new Lions president / GM Matt Millen.
Yeah, watch down the line of scrimmage. That's James Hall, who's going to slip right at the line of scrimmage, allow Amon Green, who shows some great balance, to get outside. Then Terry Fair is going to come up. He's going to slip as well. And then a great block by Antonio Freeman to get him outside and to the sideline, and from there he's gone.
And in one quarter, how about 122 yards and a pair of TDs? 21-6 at the end of the half. Lions looking to get it closer, and Charlie Batchoff back foot too far. Darren Sharper with the pick, and I don't know why he ran it out, but you know what? That's not what's on the mind of Matt Miller. No, 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 no! suit man up, don't you? 28-6 pack late in the fourth. Oh, it's the shovel pass to the fullback William Henderson. Look at Favre. Watch this, Tommy. He's going to put a block on Alonzo Spellman.
We saw this from a couple of quarterbacks today. This one from Brett Favre. We'll save the other one for later on in the show.
Well, there's several. It's the guys that know how to play quarterback.
Yes.
Interesting that they were throwing to blocks. And the Green Bay Packers, remember how well they finished last year to finish at 9-7? They pick up where they leave off, 28-6. Amon Green, 157 yards rushing. Favre, though, very Favre-like numbers, 22, 28 for 260. And, oh, by the way, the Packers defense threw in 7 sacks. So remember what we said? We talked about all the quarterback moves. There are 12 new quarterbacks. Tom, we talked about it this morning on Countdown. I think the best move is, you know what, you ready to start your 142nd straight game? Then why don't you go out? Because every game Brett Favre plays, the Packers have a chance to win. He remains the most exciting single player in football.
Well, offensively, the Green Bay Packers for a long time have been about the brilliance of one Brett Favre. And I think what you have to realize now is he's getting some help. He has a brilliant, young offensive line. They're going to do nothing but get better. He has Amon Green and Dorsey Levens as the running back. So he's got some depth there. He's got a veteran receiving corps led by Antonio Freeman, and the defense played pretty good football today.
Yes.
So I think we tend to forget how good this team could be with Brett Favre at the helm.
Kabir Baja-Biamila. Did I do
Say
it right?
what?
3 sacks in the Packers 7. It's a long name, but it's longer for the quarterbacks they play. All right, now we go on to the champion Baltimore Ravens. You know they bring their record-setting defense, and they have a new quarterback, Elvis Grbac. Here we go from the big crab cake. The Ravens opening up at home against the Chicago Bears. And that's Super Bowl MVP Ray Lewis, of course. The trophy with the owner, Art Modell, with the new quarterback, Elvis Grbac. Meanwhile, the Shane Matthews Band is looking for the space between Raven defenders, and that's going to be tough. But there's a little pass to Des White, 20 yards. You know what? The Bears, the flag was on Baltimore offside, by the way. 3rd and goal from the 2, James Allen. Last guy to have 100 yards against the Ravens. I think it happened in 1901. He was stopped, and the Bears got a field goal, 3-0. The Bears were very game. Corey Harris, the newest starter on the Ravens defense, bombing Des White right there. He turned out to be fine, but Brian Billick wants offense. And the score was 6-3 Bears in the 3rd. Top draft pick, Todd Uriah Heat, tight end. He can learn from Shannon Sharp. He can learn from Ozzie Newsome. 2 pretty good teachers, 24 yards. 3rd and 1 from the 8. They dust off Terry Allen with Lewis's injury, and he goes for the first down. Late 3rd, next play, Grbac to Sam Gash. You forget to cover him, one of our favorites. Touchdown, 10-6 Ravens.
Yeah, fullback out of the backfield. You don't see it often enough to be good at covering it.
And then there's the tip by Sharper, one of the linebackers, the interception by Ray Lewis into Chicago territory. The Bears did some hitting as well. Let's give them credit. They played this team very tough. Warwick Holdman with the hit on Terry Allen.
Yeah, Holman, a great job of doing exactly what the running back's doing, getting over the top, making contact before he can get across the line of scrimmage.
But on the next play with a couple of blockers in front, the toss to Allen. And the Ravens, on paper, okay, they win at 17-6. They didn't struggle. The Bears had the ball for almost 35 minutes. So let's give Chicago credit. Their defense was very, very tough. Gerbac's numbers better than maybe he played. 24 of 30 for 262.
Well, I think a couple of things are troubling to Coach Brian Billick of the Ravens. Number one, Gerbach's numbers, as you said, are better than he actually played, and they had trouble running the football, so possibly they missed Jamal Lewis a little bit more than they anticipated.
But what a surprise, they give up no touchdowns.
That's correct.
In the opening game. When we return, Matt Hasselbeck ran into a stout Browns defense, and what a way to start off the season for Atlanta.
Hey, Steve. 2 minutes late. 2 minutes late. 2 minutes late. 2 minutes late. Dust is remote. Hey, Peanuts.
Grab the unbreakable plastic bottle from Miller Lite.
I'm such a klutz.
I'm Dan.
It's Miller time.
I'm okay.
I should use Preparation H.
Cool it fast with Preparation H Cooling Gel. Cools on contact for fast relief. Preparation H Cooling Gel cools on contact.
I'd unravel every riddle for every individual in trouble and pain. And with the thoughts I'll be thinking I could be another Lincoln. If I only had a brain.
Presenting the microchip card accepted millions more places worldwide than Amex Blue. So use your brain. The smart Visa card. Just visit Visa.com.
Want to play better golf? Learn from the game's top pros and teachers when you subscribe to Golf Magazine. Call now to get more distance. Straighten your slice, sharpen your short game, perfect.
18 games left for Barry. Who's he facing and how's he hit against him? And how long will the Titans be without Air McNair? Sports Center, 6 Eastern.
Come on, you guys. Tell him I'm not discussing anything until he acknowledges human error is part of the game.
And you tell him that not one game ever has been ruined by instant replay. Not one.
NFL Primetime is presented by Miller Lite. Grab a Miller Lite. It's Miller time. And in part by Kia Motors, makers of a full line of quality cars at affordable prices. And by TiVo, TV your way.
There is no other way to say what happened this summer involving Corey Stringer, the all-pro tackle of the Minnesota Vikings, passing away. No other way to say that it was just a tragedy. But as we said this morning, and we said time and time again, I don't think there is anybody in the NFL or maybe in any walk of life, coaching, athletics, that could do what Denny Green does, to get his team together as individuals, as human beings, and to move forward positively. They were the only team that was undefeated in the preseason. I don't think that's an accident. And now they could see if they kept moving forward in the regular season at home against the Carolina Panthers. Chris Wenke making a start for Carolina, the 29-year-old Heisman Trophy winner. But what a start Carolina had, and it's better than anything Wenke could do because Steve Smith, opening kickoff of the Metrodome, 94 yards. How about that for a cushion? 7-0 Panthers.
And actually here, the Vikings coverage team does a pretty good job of maintaining their lane. Smith does a great job of avoiding the one guy who has a chance to make the tackle, Harold Moreau, and then he's off to the races. He's untouched from that point to the end zone.
How about 3rd and 19 for Chris Wenke? Winky, do. He does it. First down to Isaac Bird. Wenke to Timbiakabatupa. It's oh, no, it's a fumble. Oh, my goodness. 3rd and goal to 7. They were going to go in, but it's a touchback by Akapatuka. Coughed it up. 10-0 Carolina. Upset brewing. Dante Culpepper. Picked off by Jimmy Hitchcock. Used to star in some films in Minnesota. Now starring in his own film in Carolina. Second pick by Carolina. 10-0 Vikings at the half. Randy Moss. No catches at the half. We got to get this going here. Scored 10-7 about it. Dante Culpepper. Moss. There's his one catch. 27 yards, 28 yards. 3 plays later, Culpepper looking for Chris Carter. All he does,
catch touchdown.
His 125th touchdown, tying him with Walter Payton, 6th all-time. PAT block, but the Vikings lead 13-10. The last time Chris Wenke played in the Metrodome, he was a high school senior. Minnesota State Championship. Wenke threw 3 touchdowns on that day in the Metrodome. What a thrill for high school kids playing an NFL arena, but Cretin-Durham High lost in the final seconds. So Wenke waited 13 years, and it's a Wenke flicker, a flea flicker. Wenke to Muhsin Muhammad. And then, Tom, everybody in football all offseason was talking. We can't wait to see that Wenke-Muhammad duo start firing away. We laughed, but look at this. They put him ahead 17-13.
It's fair.
How about the poise of Wenke? I forget that he's 29 and not 21. First NFL start in your hometown with everybody calling you for tickets on the road. They went down 24-13. Culpepper thinks he gets a touchdown, or at least thinks they get the ball to 1. Panthers challenge. We saw a lot of challenges on this day. And ball around the pylon, reverse. It's a touchback. Carolina ball, 3 picks and a fumble by Culpepper as the Panthers shocked the Vikings. The undefeated team in the preseason, 24-13, 13-22 for 223. But managing the game well was Chris Wenke on an emotional day for the Minnesota Vikings, even though they have played those 4 preseason games. This is a different sort of emotion, and maybe finally some of the emotions got the better of them. Not to take anything away from Carolina,
Not
Tom.
to take anything away from Carolina, but I thought, quite frankly, what we saw was an emotionally drained Minnesota Viking football team. When you watch them throughout the preseason, they were playing with an extra passion for the football game. They were playing with a lot of adrenaline. And I think that when you saw them today, even when they were behind, they didn't play with that same passion. And I would doubt that that would happen again with a Dennis Green team. But the part of their team that failed them today, the Randy Mosses, Chris Carter and company not being able to consistently keep it going, along with Dante Culpepper. I don't think we'll see that often, but I think they just really kind of ran out of emotional steam for the opener of the season.
And give George Seifert and Carolina credit. Chris Winkie credit.
Oh, Chris Winkie.
Poised.
Very poised.
Very, very poised. All right, here we go. Seattle at Cleveland. Butch Davis, new head coach of the Cleveland Browns, one of 6 new head coaches from season's end. And Seattle's Mike Holmgren has a lot of new players on his defense, including this man, John Randall, sacking Tim Couch. Tim Hasselbeck is the new quarterback for the Seahawks. He answered Ricky Waters. You know, he still looks great. Look at that high step, and you think he's showing off. He just adds it to his repertoire. 40-yard run. Ricky had 97 yards on the day, led to a field goal. With the score 6-6, 2 minutes ago, Charlie Rogers out of the end zone.
Yeah, Charlie Rogers takes this kickoff, and you watch him make a couple of moves, get to the sidelines, draws the coverage to him. That's an outstanding return out to midfield.
Well, so with the game on the line, now they only get a first down, one of them with pass interference, but Ryan Lindell, in his second year, missed 1 field goal, but boy, he was perfect on his other 3, including a 52-yarder to win the game with seconds to go. So, no touchdowns, but you know what? Mike Holmgren is not the type of game he likes to win, but I think any game in which you win your 100th, and the Seahawks win on the road at Cleveland, whose defense, even without Courtney Brown, had 5 sacks. But a good game for Waters.
Well, and you're talking about a win is a win is a win, especially on the road as you open the season. We had 8 teams this weekend that did not score touchdowns. So for Mike Holmgren to walk away with a win, he's very happy to get it.
Can we say that in most cases the defense was ahead of the offense week 1?
That's exactly correct.
A recurring theme. As we continue on NFL Primetime, Bills' defense was good, but would it be good enough to stop the Saints? The Johnson combo in Tampa Bay, hoping for the Super Bowl. How will they do in week 1?
Have tired, aching muscles got you down? Now you can get an uplifting total body massage anywhere you want with Electrosage from IGEA. Perfect for massaging your aching back, sore arms, shoulders.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime. The Saints opening up at the Buffalo Bills. Greg Williams, new head coach, Buffalo Bills, against one-time Bill linebacker, was an outstanding player for them, Jimmy Haslett, and the surprising Western winners in the NFC a year ago, the New Orleans Saints. Rob Johnson, get used to this recurring theme, intercepted by Sammy Knight. Good Knight returns it to the 46-yard line, but if Buffalo leads at the end of the half 6-0, their defense, the new 4-3 defense, playing very stoutly as you thought they would. Aaron Brooks came on to sparkle late in the year, starting Saints quarterback, and look at Albert Tuttle go up for it and make the juggling catch over Ken Irvin. 46-yarder gives the Saints a 7-6 lead in the third. Johnson to Jay Reimers. Reimers is overthrown, and it's Knight. His second in the game, he would have his third, which ties a Saint record, and this just sails, Tommy.
Well, you look at the coverage, and this really redefines overthrowing the receiver. Rob actually overthrew him by about 10 yards. Remus thought he was throwing the ball to someone else beyond him. He was not. It's just a bad throw by Rob.
In the fourth, it's now 17-6, and Ricky Williams, the Bills' defense, did a great job on the New Orleans running game early, but there's 16. Look at Ricky Williams running here, Tom.
Well, and you look at the burst with which he's hitting the line, Boom. He's getting to the hole quickly, and he's forcing people to miss tackles.
And then you get him in a little space with that swing pass from Brooks, and he just eases up into the end zone after not much in the first half. Ricky Williams came on with 18 carries for 93 yards. You saw him do the work with that pick. With the catch. Only the 10th time in 35 tries the Saints have actually won on opening day. And Sam Cowart left, the middle linebacker for the Bills, with a foot injury as well. Bills open with a very tough schedule. They played stout on defense, but boy, they're going to need some more weapons.
Key Ricky Williams and a much quicker Ricky Williams.
Much quicker, and that can only spell good things for the New Orleans Saints. Meanwhile, the
How about them Cowboys? Starting option quarterback Quincy Carter against two Bucks quarterback Brad Johnson, deep in the heart of Texas. Johnson to Johnson. Not a Band-Aid. Brad to Keyshawn. On a third down, first down completion. And then a 4-yard pass to work done now.
Yeah, but you look at the shots the receivers are taking when the ball is being delivered. Yes, those are completions, but certainly you like to rethink the way in which he's getting them the football.
Johnson 8 for 8 on the first drive, although the guys are getting slammed a little. Meanwhile, Quincy Carter, well, he can add a little excitement. He's got good escapability. It's a nice 17-yard run down to the 3.
Yeah, it would appear that actually this is what Quincy Carter does best, that ability to get out of the pocket and make something happen.
Emmitt Smith on 3rd and goal, down 3-0. And look at the play by Brian Kelly, and then John Lynch to finish him off, hold him to a field goal, 3-3 at the half. It's 6-3 Dallas until Brad Johnson sneaks in the fourth quarter to make it 10-6. Then with the same score, 4th, Emmitt. Oh, look at John Lynch and Derek Brooks. Can't say we're surprised.
That's Anthony McFarland right there in the square and the target. Look at the push that he gets upfield. He forces the back, Emmitt Smith, to have to go deeper than he wants, and then the lateral speed of the Buccaneers catches up with him, and what a great play and a big hit by Derek Brooks and John Lynch.
He's one of those guys coming on, McFarland. And then Carter's pass tipped and intercepted by John Lynch. So the usual names on defense surface outstanding for Tampa Bay. You know what? He played all right. Dallas goes into this against Tampa Bay with a big talent discrepancy, you would think. And you get a win on the road is fine, Tom. Tampa Bay's defense holds Dallas to 8 first downs, but not a great start.
Well, I think everybody is expecting more. The expectations are very high for the Buccaneers, but again, a win on the road to open your season. You're satisfied with that. If you're Coach Dungy, you try to improve next week.
They give up only 127 yards on defense. You'll take your chances. When we return, I know he's Pro Bowl, but people still overlook Jimmy Smith of the Jags. It's dangerous to do that. Corey Dillon, could the Bengals win on opening day? Our Sunday night lid lifter here on ESPN, a very good one between two division champs of a year ago. The Tennessee Titans, with the best record in the NFL, champs of the AFC Central, hosting the AFC East champs, Miami Dolphins. For highlights, here's Dan Patrick.
They might not finish what they start, but no one starts better than the Dolphins do. A win Sunday night in Tennessee would make Miami just the second franchise in NFL history to win 10 consecutive season openers. In case you're wondering, Dallas holds the league record of 17 in a row, dating back to 1965 through 1981. Miami brought in Ray Lewis, brought in Cade McNown, but Jay Fiedler is still your starting QB. Dolphins up 17-7 in the third quarter. Little flip to Lamar Smith. Smith, 1,000 yards rushing last year, the first Miami back to do that since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in '96. He takes it 65 yards for the touchdown. Dolphins up 24-7. Titans with the Dolphins blitzing. Steve McNair looking for a wide-open Derek Mason. Good for the touchdown, but he would pay. Jermaine Haley with the hit on McNair. He would leave the game with tenderness in his right shoulder. Fourth quarter, Neil O'Donnell picked off by Zach Thomas. 4th career interception return for a touchdown, which is a franchise record. Dolphins pick up the victory by the final of 31-23. Miami's won 6 straight on the road with 2 touchdowns Sunday. Lamar Smith now has 14 in his last 10 regular season games. It's just the Titans' second loss in 17 regular season games at Adelphia Coliseum.
A couple of years ago, this was as big a matchup in the AFC as we had. Steelers and Jags. Both teams trying to move back up the ladder in the AFC Central. The Jags have won 5 in a row on opening day. Mark Brunell, Jimmy Smith. They've done this before. 34 yards. Where's the defense, Tom?
Well, Jimmy Smith being covered by Dwayne Washington. Dwayne Washington got his body turned inside. Jimmy Smith flew by him. Brunell did a great job of delivering the football.
Now the Steelers punting, and Donovan Darius blocks the punt, and the ball dead at midfield. Josh Miller down, although fortunately he would later get up, and he really had no chance to punt it, Tommy.
Well, he didn't have a chance to punt it, but this is textbook as you watch Donovan Darius come up the field, and you want to literally take the ball right off the punter's foot. He does that to Josh Miller, goes right through him, though, to get to the ball, and at the moment, Miller would not get up. He had to leave the football game.
So to capitalize a little later, showing possession, Brunell to Smith, 14 yards, touchdown. Brunell threw 3 TDs. You see the 2 to Smith right there. 21-3, and then naturally, when you're down on the road, it starts raining. It was pouring. Cordell fumbled. 4 turnovers. Pittsburgh not a... Bill Cowher very upbeat about his team. They do not have a stout early schedule after this, but it was Jacksonville who played stout football. They win 21-3. Fred Taylor, 96 yards. Jacksonville's D held Bettis to 28 yards, and a good return for Hardy Nickerson, who had a pick.
Yeah, and Fred Taylor almost 100 yards. I'm convinced when he gives them the balance they need in their attack, they are a solid football team.
The Patriots at the Bengals. Well, someone had to win it. John Kitna caboodled his way from Seattle to Cincinnati. And you know what? Although he had Ricky Waters in Seattle, which is pretty good, this is Corey Dillon. A little drop play, and he just rips it for 40 yards before Otis, my man Smith, tackles him at the 29, sets up a 5-yard Dillon score, 10-10 at the half. Same score third, Kitna. And look at Darnay Scott. They've always had talent, these guys.
Yeah, Darnay Scott finally healthy again, missed all of last season. He is now back. He's their speed receiver, gives them the deep threat.
16-10, and Kitna to Tony McGee. Now, it's the Bengals, Tom, so they don't quite have the Paul Brown leap yet ready to go. But I tell you what, McGee's standing pretty tall. 23-10. That's his most points that they scored in the first 4 games all last year. And Belichick gambles, 2.5 to go on 4th and 1. Bledsoe sneak, they don't get it. The Patriots have one more shot, but you know what? Nick LeBeau, on his 64th birthday, gets a win. First Bengal opening day win since '97. They win it 23-17. Dillon, 104 yards.
Yeah, Corey Dillon is the real asset to this football team, the guy who they have to build the offense around. Let's remember the next couple of weeks, they're going to face Tennessee, they're going to face Baltimore.
They had 4 sacks, and they had only 26 all last year. The Cincinnati Bengals are 1-0. When we return, now we have some rivalries. Raiders, Chiefs, was this one a headbanger in Kansas City? And in the AFC East, the Colts and Jets trying to play pinball wizard with the scoreboard.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
Chris Berman, Tom Jackson with you on NFL Primetime, inaugural 2001. And look at Herman Edwards. He's the Jets head coach. He looks like he could play, and maybe he should have at DB. Edgerrin James, well, he does this to everybody, Tom. On 4th and 1 in the second quarter with his team down 7-3, it's an easy 28-yard scamper. Peyton Manning through the hands of Edgerrin James. Marvin Jones picks it off, but look who's Johnny on the spot. That's right, number 18, Peyton Manning.
I referenced quarterbacks getting involved with plays. We saw it from Brett Favre. We see it from Peyton Manning.
And then Edgerrin James with the cutback.
And you just look at the balance that he has as he runs through the line. He's always under control. Very shifty, but always under control.
17-7 inning. James, 28 carries, 135 yards, 2 touchdowns. Terrence Wilkins drops the punt. And the Jets special teams, Nick Ferguson falls on it at the 6. Next play, Curtis, my favorite, Martin. Dragging 2 Colts in the end zone, 6 yards. They trail 17-14. You say he does everything? Now, look at this play. The pump, the fake, the throw to Marcus Pollard for 20 yards. And then later in the drive, he runs it.
Well, you see a little bit of everything he does. Looking to safety off on the previous play. Now he goes and gets a first down with his legs. You see him again here, pump faking, drawing people away, and then throwing to Jerome Pathon for a 21-yard touchdown.
8-play, 80-yard drive, Tom, and it's a 10-point lead for the Colts. Now, Terrence Wilkins fumbles. He giveth away, and now he take it. Look at the move he makes on Tony Parks, the Jets punter. He could go all the way. He fumbled to give up a TD. 78 yards, he gets it back. 31-14, C-O-L-T-S, Colt. Martin stumped by Marcus Washington. No gain on 3rd down. Now watch number 79, David Laverne in the backfield. Oh, no. He runs into Vinny. Now he was blocking on 3rd down. And who is it? It's Chuki Wakori from
Purdue.
9 years in Nigeria. And he could go all the way. Oh, my goodness. The Jets were about to bring it to within 7. But now it's the other way, 45-24.
Yeah, that's David LeBurn, number 79 at the fullback position. He's not used to doing it. Runs a little bit too close to Benny Testaverde, forces the fumble, and then Benny has to do a better job of getting the guy down on the ground.
Look at this young man. He's born in Tuskegee, Alabama, spent 9 years in Nigeria. He went to Purdue, his third year as a free agent signee from '99 with the Colts, and he's the hero. The Jets could have gotten back in, but at the end, the Colts win 45-24, and this just in, Manning and Edgerrin James look A-OK, Tom.
Yeah, when you start talking about that offense, I don't think they have any problems with it, and as we watch Peyton Manning mature, I think sometimes we forget how young he truly is. He's going to do nothing but get better.
Winning a division game on the road to start as they ran a hurry-up offense a lot of that game. Now, speaking of great rivalries, Jerry Rice is a Raider. Dick Vermeil is a Chief, but it's Raiders-Chiefs. So new participants in an old rivalry. And Eric Warfield steps in front of Rice and picks off Rich Luce Gannon. 7-0 Chiefs, 55 yards to the chagrin of John Gruden. 3rd and 8 now in the first. For the Raiders, Gannon to Jerry Rice. William belly up to the bar team. Hits Rice, but he holds on his first catch as the Raiders. Sounds wrong. Jerry Rice. Gannon, Rice, 23 yards. The Raiders. Jerry caught 8 on the day. 2 plays later, 2nd and 12. From the 21, Gannon is nailed by Greg Wesley. It's a fumble. Chiefs recover at their own 28. Now, second quarter, spirited game at Arrowhead, as so many of these in this series have been. Gannon's going to look for Charlie Garner and watch Jerome Woods come right here, Tom.
Yeah, Jerome Woods is going to make the hit right there. You see Charlie Garner go out of bounds. Great job of holding on to the football. Gets called out of bounds. The refs would come over and review the play. It looks clearly, as you watch the replay, like Charlie Garner's feet were going to come down in bounds had he not been hit by Jerome Woods. However, the officials didn't see it that way.
Well, we'll talk more about how the replacement officials did. By and large, no huge problems. Certainly you're going to have some questions. Tim Brown thought there were huge problems, and he incurs a flag at this point. The score is 7. Gannon, by the way, at that point had completed 11 straight. But the Chiefs lead 17-6 until Gannon, Tim Brown, a quiet first half, but boy, a pretty noisy second half. They go for 2 and make it. It's a 17-14 game. Now tied at 17, Raiders at their own 45. Charlie Garner didn't have big numbers, but that's what he can provide you. And then here's Gannon to Timmy Brown, who caught 8 for 133.
The go-to guy. I mean, a lot of people contributed in this offense today, but when you really needed a play, when Gannon wanted to get the ball to somebody, he got it to Tim Brown.
And then Gannon to fullback John Lionel Richie. Oh, what a feeling. Dancing on the ceiling. 24-17. And now the next drive for the Chiefs. 4th and 10 from the 42. Trent Green, the new Chiefs quarterback. Yes, that's who you block, Tony Richardson. 49 puts a big block on, and 12-yard scramble, first down for the Chiefs. The 2nd and 10 from the 30. Green to Snoop Minnis, the 3rd-round pick from Florida State. What a game. We're tied at 24.
And he beats Charles Woodson, who's an all-pro, does a great job holding him off and keeping his arms up under the football. No question he caught the ball.
Under a minute left, 2nd and 8 for the Raiders at the 47 of the Chiefs. Gannon to Timmy Brown, 33 yards to the chagrin of Dick Vermeil. Sebastian Janikowski, 31-yard attempt with 18 seconds to go. It's good thing he got it up high, and it's good. It's good. The Raiders lead 27-24. Green, last gasp. He's going to have to wing it and hope. Charles Woodson picks it off. And after going 2-18 over a 20-game span against the Chiefs in the 90s, the Raiders have won 4 straight. What a game this was. 27-24. The Raiders have beaten the Chiefs, who have been 11-2 the last 13 years in home openers. You see some of the numbers. Gannon, 31 of 46 for 341. For the first time, Jerry Rice, a part of this Raiders-Chiefs rivalry, an eye-opener.
I think the entire world basically got what they wanted today. You know, it was some mistakes out there, but overall it was a hard-fought game. I really didn't know the magnitude of this game until I ran on the football field, and very hostile crowd, very hostile crowd, man. But you know, this Raider Kansas City rivalry, just unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of good rivalries. Here's one of them in a game played to the teeth.
Well, I think it was a classic Chiefs-Raider rivalry and a Chief-Raider game. And what you saw was a lot of hard hitting. But I think the contributions by the Raiders, you had a good game by Gannon. You had 8 catches by Tim Brown, 8 by Jerry Rice. Charlie Garner, I think, gives them more consistency than Napoleon Kaufman did. And when you heard Jerry Rice talk about the fact that, boy, I learned something about this rivalry, I think that Dick Vermeil did as well. I think that, you know, being in the NFC West, a little bit different than being in the AFC West. So I think he learned now the kind of ball that his team might have to play in order to win football games.
Well, and I tell you what, if you're looking for the games at Arrowhead, as we go inside the numbers, Tom, the last 3 times the Raiders have gone into Arrowhead, it's all been decided in the last 30 seconds of the game or in overtime. As Janikowski's field goal was good. They win it today. They win it on a Janikowski 43-yarder with 25 seconds to go last year. And they won in overtime in the 1999 season. All close, but all silver and black.
Inside the Numbers is brought to you by Visa, the preferred card of the NFL. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
You know, it feels good to say, hey, it is her Lambeau Field. And it feels good to watch the greatest show on earth. And Doug Flutie as a lightning bolt. The headline game in Week 1, the Rams at the Eagles, and the Rams, London Fletcher. 3 Rams stayed from last year's defense, 8 other new starters, but this guy stayed. It's Marshall Faulk. Marshall. A 7-yard run after a turnover at the 10-yard line very early in the game for the Eagles. So now Donovan McNabb to Chad Lewis. And he's stripped of the ball. Adam Archuleta, one of the draft picks, picks it up. He fumbles it. Aeneas Williams, one of the pickups from the Cardinals, he recovers it. My goodness, the defense twice helping out for TD. 14-3 St. Louis. St. Louis is going to go up by 3 touchdowns, but at the one, Troy Vincent picks off the ball in the air. It's amazing how one play can change the game. 4th and 4 for the Eagles. McNabb. Time to Todd Pinkston. 14 yards, first down. Same drive, 4th and goal for the 1. McNabb to Cecil Martin. First rule, not even close. Then you looked and you said, well, my goodness, he's on the goal line, maybe in. Andy Reid challenges. Tom, looks like in.
Well, you look at the replay. If that ball is in his right arm, which it appeared that it was, then that's a touchdown. I thought the officials did a great job of going over and reviewing it.
And now, all of a sudden, they're about to be down by 3 touchdowns. They're down 1, 17-10 on the 99-yard drive. Next possession, McNabb to Martin. No review. Touchdown. 4 minutes left. We're tied at 17 on the fake blubber at the vet. Avion Kaysen receives the kick, but it's a fumble. But the Rams, the Eagles had it, but they don't fall on the ball, and the Rams recover. Overtime. Eagles have the ball first. Punt. Rams have the ball second. Trouble. Warner Isaac Bruce, 20 yards. Warner Isaac Bruce, 27 yards to the 12. Bring on the kicker. Here's Jeff Wilkins, 25-yarder. Good. It's good. And the Rams, in overtime, win at Philly in a spirited game, 20-17. Warner threw for 308. McNabb threw for 312. He ran for 48. The Philly ran for only 57 yards. Rams actually using a ball control offense for much, certainly in the third quarter, Tommy.
And defensively, only one time last season, 17 games in the playoffs, did they hold a team under 20 points, and they did it today against the playoff team from last year.
On the road.
On the road.
So far, so good. 17 points allowed in more than 4 quarters. And now comes Marty Schottenheimer and the Redskins against Norv Turner, the offensive coordinator, former Redskins coach. But this is what you came to see. Doug Flutie quarterbacking the Chargers. You also came to see Tim Dwight field a punt. Forget about it. 84 yards. San Diego Superchargers. 7-0 Chargers at the Merc. Doug Flutie, Curtis Conway, wide open. This team that was 1-15 has some confidence. Sets up a field goal, 10-0 Chargers. Jeff George over the middle. Oh, he looks good in practice, Tom. Intercepted by Ryan McNeil.
Well, as you watch the throw, he always throws off his back foot, so he doesn't get the ball exactly where he wants. When you see him in practice 7-on-7, I'm sure that he throws the ball by stepping into it. He's a lot more accurate.
LaDainian Tomlinson with the lead. The first-round pick of the Chargers is running. Now look at Flutie. Out in front, blocking through Smith. On the Tomlinson, hand up to Curtis. You think Norv was taking about maybe 6 months to work on these plays against the Redskins?
Yeah, but I think that's what happens when you leave the old team, come to the new team.
Tomlinson, touchdown. 17-0 Chargers. Ensuing drive. 6 minutes to go in the first half. Tip. Intercepted by Alex Molden. Third quarter after a fumble by George. Jeff George is pulled. Tony Banks in the game. And look at Stephen Davis fumble the ball, and Rodney Harrison is there. What a douse. The 1-15 San Diego Chargers, who have a bye next week, and then play that 5th place schedule. Dallas, Cincy, Cleveland, New England. Before they play the heavy metal, they could have a head of steam, Tom.
Different football team. Alex Molden with the interception, Tim Dwight with the return, Doug Flutie quarterbacking, Tomlinson making things happen in the running game. It's not the same 1-15 Chargers.
And Junior Seau now with over 13,000 tackles in his career. Yikes. When we return, game balls and one last game.
NFL Primetime is presented by Miller Lite. Grab a Miller Lite. It's Miller time. And in part by Levi's Jeans. Make them your own.
Atlanta at San Francisco. Michael Vick certainly wouldn't start, but would he play in some trick formations inside the red zone? We'll see. Here's Michael Vick in his own zone. Badly overthrows. Then, later on in the first quarter, Vick all fired up overthrows here. He was 0 for 4 today in spelling Chris Chandler here and there. With the Falcons leading 10-3 in the third, here is Vick. And you know he can do this, Tommy. Look at him move.
Well, eventually, when he gets the offense in the pass game, you defensively will not be able to account for what he can do with his legs.
Atlanta led it 13-3. So in the fourth quarter, Jeff Garcia, J.J. Stokes touchdown. It's a 13-10 game now. Garcia later in the fourth, 2.5 to go. Terrell Owens. Boy, can he motor all the way down to Atlanta's 18, a 40-yard pickup. 3rd and goal from the 2. Niners going for the win with 15 seconds to go. Garcia. Oh, he overthrows Ty Street. Field goal is good. We go to overtime. 3rd and 5 for the 49ers. Garcia to Street, who goes down the main street. 24-yard line on the big throw by Garcia, the Pro Bowler from a year ago. And that sets up the new Niners kicker, Jose Baby Cortez. Good. And the Niners down 10 at home in the division in the fourth quarter. Win it 16-13 in overtime. Cortez with the winning field goal. As you see, Garcia throwing for 335 yards. for San Francisco, Michael Vick, there'll be better days.
Well, I like what Dan Reeves did with Michael Vick. He's going to work him in very slowly. He's not going to let this kid get gun-shy. He's going to allow him to do some things so that he can have some confidence once he starts playing.
Jamal Anderson ran for 86 yards. Welcome back for him. And Garrison Hurst ran very hard for San Francisco.
Primetime Players is brought to you by 1-800-COLLECT. Save a buck or two.
Boom, my game ball goes to Ahman Green of the Green Bay Packers. He gives them great balance along with Brett Favre in the passing game. He gives them the running attack. You look at the numbers, he gets my game ball today.
Tommy, my game ball, 3 interceptions, tying a franchise record. Sammy Knight helped spell good night for Rob Johnson and the Bills. A big win on the road for the New Orleans Saints, and Sammy gets my game ball. Well, if you logged on to ESPN.com, now why do they agree with you? I mean, I got no problem.
Because I'm right. I'm right.
You know, oh, man. Sammy Knight right on the church. You know what? Give them all a game ball. Thanks for voting. Thanks for participating. Don't forget Monday Night Countdown. I'm looking forward to your mile-high memories. And you have more than the rest of them. And that'll be Monday with Mike and Tommy and Sterling and Jaws. 7:30 Eastern, that's 5:30 Mountain. Those of you looking in the mountain area for all of Tommy's thoughts on Mile High Stadium. And then Monday Night Football on ABC at 9 Eastern, the NFC champion Giants against, opening up the new stadium, Denver Broncos. We all want the regular referees and umpires, etc., back. I think everybody wants that, the fans, the players. But so far, I think, Tom, they've gambled and lost because the games, the ebb and flow has been not bad.
I think they made a huge mistake because, yes, mistakes will be made by the replacement referees, but who is to say they wouldn't have been made by the regular officials? That's the problem as you get used to watching the games.
I'm happy to have football back.
Yes, me too.
Tom Jackson, I'm Chris Berman. Thanks for watching NFL Primetime.
NFL Primetime is a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.